Now we're going to talk about the state of the county, and I'd like to ask our three commissioners to come up. Our commissioners, of course, are Commissioner Merceria Ludgood, who represents District 1, which is the northern part of the county. Commissioner Ludgood's been with the County Commission now for 14 years. Commissioner Connie Hudson, representing District 2, the central portion of Mobile County. Ms. Hudson has been with the county now for 11 years, and of course before that served many years on the Mobile City Council. And our new county commissioner, new in the last year or so, Randall Dewitt, representing District 3, which is the southern part of Mobile County. So welcome our county commissioners. Thank you so much, commissioners, and we're just kind of go down the line, find out a little bit what's going on countywide and in each of your districts as well. Merceria, we'll start with you. In recent months, we've seen a lot of announcement about programs involving Mobile County, and they're funded by a variety of sources. Many of those sources are external. Can you just talk about that a little bit and explain these various sources of money and how they're being put to good use?
So we have several. We have money from the Deepwater Horizon. We have money from GOMESA, which is Gulf of Mexico Energy Security. We have money from ARPA, money that comes from Community Development Block Grants, and all of those together have left us with enough money to do many of the things that have been on the drawing board, things that we've needed to do for people in Mobile County for a number of years. One of the most, when I look at it, I think at the things that we're able to do for individuals and then things that we're able to do for the community at large. And so in terms of individuals, we're able to help them with pandemic relief. We're able to, because of Rebuild Alabama, for example, we're able to do more roads than we were able to do before. And so that impacts everyone day to day driving around, taking care of whatever business it is that they have to do. But we also have an opportunity with these dollars to be forward thinking and to look at issues like resilience. We're able to do coastal restoration, all the things that scientists have been telling us for years that we need to do if we want to maintain our quality of life. Well, they were all good ideas, but we couldn't do them because the resources were not there. We were doing day-to-day, keeping county government running. This gives us an opportunity to step out and be more creative. And when we keep using the word transformational, but that's absolutely what it is. These are the kind of dollars that we have now can actually just change what the county looks like. Not only the county, but throughout our whole area. You're going to see differences in the city that you didn't have because of these kind of dollars. And so that's exciting. It presents some challenges because once we're able to get a lot of this done, then we got to maintain it. And this money has a deadline. Once it's gone, then at the same time, we've got to figure out on a parallel track, once we're able to build out this infrastructure, how we're going to be able to maintain it.
I'll ask Commissioner Hudson to talk about the American Rescue Plan. Commissioner Ludgood touched on that. Tell us what it is, how much money the county might be getting, and where you are in the process on how to use that money.
Certainly, Peter, and good morning, everyone. The American Rescue Plan Act, or otherwise known as ARPA, as the mayor noted, is a multi-year federal grant funding program primarily for cities and counties to help mitigate and address the negative impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic. I think there was a lot of areas across the country, cities and counties certainly, that had a lot of negative impacts, businesses, it's just almost endless the way that COVID ended up impacting so much of our daily lives and our business and economy. And so this money that the county will receive and our final appropriation will receive in May of next year will total $80.1 million. And this money has to be spent or obligated by the year 2026. And it has to be spent according to some pretty specific Treasury Department guidelines. And so We have hired a consultant through Volkert to come in and help us to be able to vet projects. And it was very important for us to be able to get input from the community engagement. So we developed an online portal so that and we asked the public to share ideas and thoughts and recommendations for projects and programs that would meet critical needs within the community. And so the community responded to that, and we have at this point, and the portal is still open. We asked for priority projects through the month of August, but the portal does remain open. And we have at this point received over 200 applications that total about $400 million. And so the community was not shy about sharing thoughts and ideas, and that's a good thing. You know, there's so many needs, and we've seen requests all across the gamut, you know, from broadband to public safety to mental health to just water and sewer projects. So we've seen everything coming through the portal. And once they're vetted by Volkert, and we should have the first list sometime around the middle of this month, then the commission will be able to look at those and try to prioritize the projects that we feel will have the most impact. Because, you know, when you've got $400 million in requests so far and $80 million, you really have to look strategically in where that money can have the best benefit for the community. And as Commissioner Ledgood said, be transformational, because this is a one-time appropriation of funding, and we want to be able to use it in a way that has the most benefit for the community. So we expect sometime after that first list comes to us to sit down and work together and try to reach consensus and start identifying the projects.
Tough decisions, but a good problem to have, right? All right, we'll ask Commissioner Dewitt to discuss growth in the county. We see a lot of subdivisions popping up all over the place in the unincorporated areas. Can you tell us a little bit about what the county's doing related to development?
Yeah, so to tie your economic development in, you know, when you bring these jobs to Mobile, which thank you for the chamber and the sponsors today for putting this event on, you know, you want to have a place for these people to live. And you know, you hear a lot of times, well, I live in a different community because there's really not a lot of options in Mobile. Well, the last 2 years in Mobile County, we've had 2 years in a row that are record-breaking years for residential development. And most of that is shift to the west and to the south of Mobile County, which, back to what the mayor said, why that's important for annexation in those areas out there. But just a few numbers. In the last year, in the last 12 months, we've approved 147 preliminary plats and final plats for subdivisions, which equals up to around 2,000 residential lots in those areas in the southwest end of Mobile County. So that brings some challenges to Mobile County. 30 years ago, if you built a subdivision in Mobile County, you didn't think a whole lot about water and sewer. You used septic and well water. And we're all working very well with malls, Mobile County Water and Sewer, the other utilities in our area, to make sure that the infrastructure and our engineering department and our pay-as-you-go program, to make sure that our infrastructure can support the economic development and the residential development in Mobile County.
What's so interesting about being a county commissioner, I would think, would be your districts and just the variety in your districts. You all have big agricultural areas. You all have inner city in your districts as well. And I know you've got a lot of things going on in each of your individual districts. So maybe we'll just take our remaining time and talk about that and tell us in District 1, Commissioner Ludgood, what are some of the things happening and what do you hope to see here over the next year?
So one thing that I meant to mention earlier, when we get those dollars in, they don't always go just in county administration. So for example, we've been able through Deepwater Horizon projects to do some sewer projects in Mount Vernon and in Satsuma, and we're looking at some others. So we also have some watershed development up on the north end, which is also a critical piece of that resilience work that we were talking about. But I guess some of the things that you're seeing and hearing a lot more about, things like the improvements that we're making in our parks, particularly in District 1 is Chickasaw Park. Chickasaw Park is very active. People have been using it for years. It's located in the city of Pritchard, but the investment we're making now, Chickasaw Park, is going to be really one of the crown jewels among parks in the county. We're adding a conference center. We're building out fields and walking trails. We're improving our RV sites, improving restroom facilities, and people have been going there when it was less attractive, and we know that they're just going to flock there now. The bottom line to our Parks Initiative is for people to understand that they don't have to go outside Mobile County to be able to enjoy nature. They can do it right here. And so we're making an investment consistent with that. We are also, along those same lines, the Mobile County Blueway Trail is under development. We've done the public information phase. We're now making some decisions. This we're also doing in collaboration with the Africatown Blueway Connection. Some of their sites are also sites that would have been on the trail. And so we're working together to build that out. I think that's going to be a collaboration that works well for all of us. And speaking of Africatown, there's a lot going on there. Clotilde, with the finding of the wreck, there's been a lot of interest in Clotilde, but the county strategy has been two-pronged. We want to really work with the people who live there and to do some of the things that need to be done in that to improve that community. Some of the things that the residents are saying, these are the things we need to preserve our community, while at the same time building out assets to attract tourism too. And so we're doing that with Visit Mobile. We are growing more and more our cultural heritage sector in our tourism. We have a representatives today with the Mowa tribe of Choctaw Indians who are also doing work at the tribe. So we have a deep cultural heritage in Mobile, and we're trying to build on it.
All right, thank you, Commissioner Ludgood. Connie, what's going on in District 2? I know there's a lot.
You know, planning and executing projects is by far my favorite part of this job. I love it. And as Commissioner Ludgood mentioned, there's a lot of exciting things that we are all involved with right now. And they have a lot to do with recreational amenities, waterfront access, because I think these are the things that really do meet a need with our own citizens, and not only bring in visitors and tourists, but meet the needs of our own citizens. And so that is a huge focus for the County Commission right now. The soccer complex, which is located off Halls Mill Road, is a work in progress still. It is a pay-as-you-go type of project. We have completed phase 1 of that, which is 3 lighted fields and a parking lot and the road work and infrastructure that goes along with all of that. And just with 3 fields, it has been tremendously successful. We have the soccer community it's receiving heavy use from the soccer community, from lacrosse teams, and also we had Azalea City, the first Azalea City Ultimate Frisbee tournament out there, and that brought in people from 5 states. Some weekends we've seen as many as 1,500 people come in as spectators and participants. So, you know, and that's with 3 fields. So we're continuing to work on that. We've got phase 2 that will begin probably in the summer of next year. There's a lot of infrastructure work that's got to take place before the construction actually begins. And that will be our championship field with our bleachers that will seat approximately 1,400 spectators. Have locker rooms, restrooms. We'll have 2 additional parking lots and more infrastructure. We'll have a restroom facility, a standalone restroom facility, And then we'll continue moving forward. You know, we're designing all the time. So we'll have 5 more fields to go after the 2 that will be built in phase 2. So just a lot of activity, and it's all exciting. We did purchase an additional 64 acres that is adjacent to the entry road off of Halls Mill Road. And the vision was a decade ago when this master plan idea first came into being was to have an aquatic center. And so that we see that property, part of that property, will be home to the aquatic center. It's an indoor aquatic center for recreational and competitive swimming. And the City of Mobile Swim Association has been very, very involved with that. It's in the design process now. We have, the aquatic center is under design. We also, on our next agenda, will approve a feasibility study for an outdoor water park on the remainder of that property. And I see that as potentially a public-private partnership, and I know already there has been interest along those lines, and the Chamber's been very helpful in helping set up some of those meetings, and I'm grateful for that. So a lot going on there. Another exciting project is the Eskatapa Hollow Park and Campground project that we purchased. We purchased the property back in 2019. It was 45 acres, and we have added to that through additional land acquisitions, and it will be about a 200-acre park when we finish. We've doubled the waterfront on the Eskatapa River, and we'll add additional campsites. It's undergoing a renovation now. Phase 1 will be complete in March of next year, which is day use RV park facility. Phase 2 will be we'll have a welcome center with a grill and cafe and an interpretive center with information about Blackwater River systems and the local flora and fauna. And eventually, on the additional property, we'll have other recreational amenities and more campsites, maybe a novelty treehouse cabin or 2. Anyway, there's a lot of ideas, a lot of thoughts and planning in that. And I don't have time today, but I would say if you're interested in keeping up with what's happening with these projects, please go to mobilecountyal.gov. You can go to District 2 page and link to the newsletter and subscribe, and I provide regular updates on what's happening.
All right, thanks so much. Commissioner Dewitt, talk about your district, District 3. You've got, of course, such beautiful access to the water. I know you're trying to improve that for recreation and also for preservation.
Yeah, so, I'm excited to talk about some of the projects that I had taken over for Congressman Carl when he held this commission seat, and one of those is the renovation of the Bayfront Park and the restoration of the Dauphin Island Causeway. And then a project that I pulled into this, I found out recently, a couple months ago, that the McRae family was interested in selling the Cedar Point Pier. They were getting up in age and ready to retire, and I thought, what a great opportunity for the county to acquire the Cedar Point Pier so that it could be there and accessible for years to come, and so we're working in the process right now of making that acquisition in the next couple weeks, I hope, and it'll tie right in with Bayfront Park, which is a $6.5 million renovation of that park that's all being paid for with grant money, and back to Cedar Point, which is also being paid for with grant money from the state Go Mesa funding. And so then you have a NIFWIF $30+ million restoration project, and I get really excited about restoration projects. Being a fisherman and preserving our natural resources, this is going to create a 3-mile stretch of new land at the Dauphin Island Causeway, which will go in to protect our interior marshes there. So I'm really excited about restoration projects and those projects down there. And all 3 of those tie in basically from the foot of 188, Highway 188, on Dauphin Island Parkway, all the way down the causeway to the Cedar Point Pier, which what I like to call the playground of Mobile is Dauphin Island. So it's going to be doing a whole lot to improve that area on your way to Dolphin Island. And and then, you know, if you move back up, that's in the south end of Mobile County, and that's, you know, some plans for some boat ramps and some other activity in that area. You know, whether you like to admit it or not, Baldwin County is our competitors, and when you look at access points to the water in Baldwin County, they have 3 times more access points to the water than we do, and I think we could do a better job of giving people access to the water. And so I'll move back up towards the other end of my district, and we'll talk about the West Mobile County Park located on Leroy Stevens Road. We're about to start a renovation project there that's going to include new playground, new splash pad. We acquired some property just to the north that's connected to the property that we're intending, hopefully pretty soon, to start working on putting in a disc golf course there, a full 18-hole disc golf course. And we're also going to be shifting the operations there and hopefully involve more youth sports in that area. Right now we have soccer, football, softball, and so we'd like to expand that to youth baseball as well. So we're looking at that in the future at West Mobile County Park. And the other thing, I'm out of time, but I do want to talk about future of boat ramps. Our schools are it's all of our responsibilities to make sure, and I've made it a point to tour most of the schools in my district in the year that I've been in office, and it's all of our responsibilities to make sure that our schools are thriving and surviving. It's not just the responsibility of the school board. And then, of course, I'm out of time, but I'm going to mention the Linksman Golf Course. I hope that pretty soon we will be approving a feasibility study that was just completed and acquiring that property and renovating that golf course and open up a golf course. And all of these things are really tie back into a quality of life for the people who live in Mobile.
Peter, before we exit today, we get to sit up here and take credit for all these great things happening, but I really want to recognize the people on our county staff, our administration, and all of our employees who are here today, because we could not do anything that we do without these wonderful people that we have working with us. Because if they will please stand.
I think their table's back there in the middle and off to the side here. All right, well, thank you so much, commissioners. It's been really interesting learning about all the different things taking place all across the county. Thank you so much.